Okay, so today we are looking at this piece here. There you go, Tantum, Ergo. This is a more common one because we sing this at benediction. Anytime we have benediction, some people have benediction every week, and that is a really good idea. So Tantum Ergo is also the last two verses of Pange Lingua, which we've been doing for the last few weeks. And I have changed the tune. So I don't know if everyone noticed that, but it is the do clef, instead of being on the top line, the do clef is on the second line down. So that means this line will be do, and then that space will be re, that space will be mi. Yeah. Okay, and it's mode 5. Mode 5 is the more majory sort of mode. It's also the same mode as Salve Regina. But this is all talking about the solfege, and usually we go through the vocab first. So let's go back to the vocabulary. Hey. Now, tantum is a word that can be translated as so great or such, such a wonderful something. Yeah. So great. It's talking about the sacrament, which very conveniently is practically the same in English. So sacramentum and sacrament you can piece together. Ergo is a little bit different. Ergo is therefore. Now, don't get it mixed up with ego or ego, which means I. So that's a different word. But ergo is therefore, and you can use that in English. Some people do. Veneremur, you can see it's got the passive voice ending if you've done different grammar things, which is translated as let us adore. And chernui is the bit that means bowing down or bowing low, facing the ground sort of thing. So when you're at benediction and you're doing the organ or something like that, you have to wait until the priest can kneel down and bow down for that chernui bit. So that's something I learnt the hard way from playing organ at Mass. At benediction. It also, it does come up at Mass for Holy Thursday. So chernui is bowing down. Let's see, go back to blue. Et, everyone knows et is and. We see that every week practically. Antiquum. Antiquum, you could translate as the antique, but ancient sort of works at some. Antique kind of has the idea of homewares, yeah, but it does just mean old. You could translate it as old as well. Then documentum, you can see that the word document is staring at you in the face, but it's not quite the same as document. But that's where we get the word document from, an agreement or a covenant. So covenant sounds a bit more in the area of what we're talking about in this particular case. So, okay, document, covenant. Novo. Novo, when I talked about novo, someone said, it's like novus ordo. But it is. Novo is an adjective, so it can change its ending to match the thing it's describing. So novo means new. So new is on the next line because I ran out of space on the other one. So novo is the right. It's just ritui is right. So that's one word altogether, ritui. So the new right is the thing, and what it's doing is yielding. Or chedat means shall yield. So have you ever, if you're playing sport and there might be a game, you cede the game to someone sometimes. So that cede is spelled C-E-D-E, and that comes from the same root as chedat. So it's ceding, yielding. Yeah. I'm trying to think of an example where you'd cede the game, but it's been a while since I played sport. So there you go. Praestat is the next one. Praestat is may provide. Can't think of an English derivative, but it starts with PR, so that's practically the same. Yeah. Fides is faith. I'm sure we've come up with fides meaning faith before. And supplementum, you probably don't have to guess which word that corresponds to because it's practically the same. Supplementum and supplement. Supplement, so something that helps out. Yeah. You might take a vitamin supplement to keep away colds, like vitamin C. It might not replace a balanced meal, but it helps. Okay. Sensuum is another one very similar to the English, senses. And it's for the senses, so it's being an object sort of thing. And defectui, you can see the word defect there. defect and deficiency are kind of related. So defect usually means something's broken. Deficiency, something's not good enough. So our senses aren't good enough to see that Jesus is truly present in the Blessed Sacrament. But by faith, we can see that Jesus is truly present in the Blessed Sacrament. Cool. So that is that verse. We're on to the next verse with genitori, genitoque. And you can see those words are very similar. So the genitor is the father, the one who generates, and the genitoque, oh man. Okay, I needed to do a little bit more research than I have. Can anyone remember the Philly? We usually say Philly for the son, but you can also be the person who is generated. The que on the end is the and. So if I do that in a different color, so que is and. But anyway, yes, genitori is to the father, genitoque is to the son. Laus is praise. I think we've come up with praise before. Et is and again. And jubilatio is jubilation or joy, happiness, celebration. Salus is health or salvation. Honor is honor. That's an easy one. Virtus is power or virtue, or virtue, manliness. No, maybe I'm going off. Vir is the word for man. So sometimes I think of virtue as a manly sort of thing, which is one thing where the English is kind of, they almost talk about virtue as being not a strong thing. But yeah, it really is a strong thing. Being virtuous, you need to be strong. Yeah. Quoque is one of those little words. This one means also. Now, I was getting quoque mixed up with utroque. So utroque is both. Quoque is also. So, I'm not sure if there's an easy way. Quoque, utroque. Sometimes the little words are the trickiest to remember because there's so many of them. Next one's a little word as well. Sit means be. Yes. So be, quiet. Touch it, sit. Would that work? Anyway, sit means be. Okay. Benedictio, we come across with benediction. Well, benediction means blessing. So, benedictio can be translated as benediction, which means blessing or blessing. And procedenti, you can see proceeding is pretty close. Ab is one of those little tiny words, and it means from. Uteroque means both. So ute is one or the other, and the que is the and, so it's like both the one and the other. Does that kind of make sense? One and the other, maybe. Oh, do you know, on a separate thing, neuter means not one or the other. So uter is one or the other, and neuter is not one or the other. Neither. Yeah, okay. But yeah, so maybe that will help with utroque being both one and the other. Okay, too much on one thing. Compare is the next one. Compare is equal, so we have comparison, seeing if two things are equal. We got sit again. So sit is a really cute little word. There was a joke where someone called his dog anathema, so that when he wanted his dog to sit down, he'd say anathema sit, which is the words we use, or the Pope uses when he's declaring something to be anathema, a heresy. So if you want to use Latin out of context, call your dog anathema. Okay, laudatio, I've got down here as praising. Yes, so we got laus as being praise. Laus is praise over there, and laudatio is praising. Okay, so they're very close together. But for the answers for the quiz, if you have to distinguish between them, laus is a short one, so it's praise. Laudatio is praising. Amen, I haven't got a translation for, but that's a Hebrew word anyway. So, yeah, that's all the vocab, and we're 10 minutes in. So on to the do re mi's. Okay. I'm not sure if everyone is here, but oh yes, they were. So there's the do clef is on the line down there. Whoops, maybe I should rub that out a bit so you can actually see it. Okay, so if up to now we've been doing a lot of pieces where the do clef was on the top, but here the do clef is down one. So you've got do there, la is the next line down, and fa is the bottom line in this case. So it starts on a fa. Fa, sol. Is that right? Da da da, fa sol la la la, so ti do, la sol fa, fa sol la. No, that's too big a jumper. Fa sol la sol fa, fa la do. T. No, next one after do is re, isn't it? Do, re, ti, do, re. And then skips the mi and goes straight to fa. Fa, mi, re, fa, mi, re, do. Then right down, back down to fa at the bottom. Oh, so you can see the octave. It goes, that bottom line is fa, and the top, the space above the top line is fa as well. Fa, sol, la, sol, ti, do, la, sol, fa. Then fa, sol, la, sol, fa. Okay. So let's sing that through. It's probably easier to sing. See how you go. Tantum ergo sacramentum veneremur genui et antiquum documentum novo cedat ritui praestet fide supplementum sensum defectui. Then the next verse. Genitori genitoque lauset jubilatio salus ona virtus quoque sit benedictio procedenti ab utroque compassit laudatio. Then the amen is just amen. Okay. That gives you a different Tantum Ergo. So I think that's going through all the words and all the music. Now today I unfortunately was unable to even load the Bluekit webpage to start making a Bluekit. So I won't be able to put a Bluekit in the description for the people catching up, but I can put in the Quizlet, quiz, I guess. So you can play Quizlet live instead of Bluekit. Quizlet only goes through the vocab, but let's see. Do you want to go through? No, we'll go through the other stuff with the live. Yeah, I'll figure out a way. If I figure out a way, I'll put it in a web page and there'll be a link beneath. If I haven't figured out a way, it's just the Quizlet. And okay, so for the recording people, see you next week. And for the Zoom people, stay on for the game.